Welcome to day 344 of our Let's Grow annual challenge. Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here. And today we're going to talk about your motto and your code of conduct. And our action item today is, of course, going to be to think about this, create your own code of conduct, and then summarize that into a motto. A motto is just a really simple, memorable phrase that summarizes your personality, your beliefs, your code of conduct, your core values. It's based on our core values, our priorities in life, our past experiences. But it's also a vision of how we want to be. It might not be a clear representation of who we were in the past or who we are this very instant, but it incorporates the best of what we want to be. It draws that line in the sand in terms of how we will and will not behave, what we will and will not do, how we will and will not act. And it summarizes all of that into a concise, understandable sentence. Well, how do you go about doing that? And of course, that's our action item today, is to come up with mine's a couple of paragraphs. And actually it started out as a couple of paragraphs. It started out as a couple of pages. Then it went down to a couple of paragraphs. Now I'm trying to do it as just a bullet point, couple of things, like a handful of things, because we don't need to consider, we do consider everything, but we don't have to call out everything when we put it in a concise statement. The concise statement is for us. It's for us to remind ourselves who we are, what we want, what we stand for, and what we will not tolerate, right? It helps us to set boundaries. It helps us to make decisions. It's like part of why we study and we identify our core values. It makes decision making and choices and options much more clear to each and every one of us. At least it's played out that way in my life and in the lives of the people that I've taught to do this. Not very many people do this. I only talk about it a couple of times a year or with specific clients or customers, as it becomes apparent that would help them and be a tool that could help them to create what it is that they want in their life. So what are some of the steps? I need another sip of coffee. Sorry. My throat's getting a little better. What are some of the steps we can go about in terms of doing this? Number one, what's your goal? Why do you want and why do you want it? If you want to create a motto and a code of conduct, well, why do you want that? If we want to create and do anything in our life, we have to tell ourselves what's in it for us, just like we have to do if we're in sales or in marketing or working at a job and we want somebody to cooperate with us. We have to show them, if they don't see it right off the bat, what's in it for them. And one of the most important things we need to do is use that strategy on ourselves. What's in it for me to have a code of conduct? What's in it for me, and why do I want one? And why do I want a motto? Well, I want one to put on a tagline as I sign off on my communications in different formats. And now that's not the only reason, but that's part of the reason. I want a clear, concise way of people knowing who I am, what I stand for, and who I'm looking for, and who I'm here to serve and work with. Not everyone on the planet, right? I'm definitely not for everybody on the planet. So we want to, if our goal is, we want to identify our goal. If our goal is to create a code of conduct and a motto, why do we want to do that? Secondly, we want to create a list of personal traits and things about us in terms of how we are right now, what's important to us right now. For me, and it often is in alignment with our core values and our beliefs and our past experiences, things that we've gotten out of those situations. But I am a huge proponent of, and a core value of mine is continuous improvement. Continuous improvement, treating people the way you want to be treated, thinking for yourself, things like that are really important to me. So those personal traits and creativity, those will become incorporated into my code of conduct and my motto, because they're important to me. Each of us will have different things that are important to us. So we want to just make a list of those things. Thirdly, we want to describe our personal relationships. And I'm going to say, describe the personal relationships as you want them to be. Why? Because if we focus on what we want, we create more of that. If we focus on what we don't want, we get more of that. So I'm going to say, always write this and put this in terms of how you want things to be. And then 4, craft personal statements. Just start writing some sentences that combine the thoughts and the essence of who you are and what you want to be and how you want to show up. And then develop guidelines that support that statement. What are some examples of this? Integrity, objectivity, and these are more kind of businessy ones, but they work for me personally as well. Professional competence and due care, confidentiality, professional behavior. Is that important to you? Some people, it's just not important to them. You look at my background and you're like, really? You're going to tell us you're into professional behavior and you got little smoshmallows in your background? I'm going to say yes, because fun is also important to me. And I realized that I'm not always very fun anymore. The older I get, the less fun I'm having. And it should be just the opposite, in my humble opinion. I looked up different government, because I'm going to share this with my business group as well. I looked up different businesses and different governments that have excellent codes of conduct and what they include in theirs. And of course, our life is not all about our businesses. I just figured that out about a decade ago, but it is about creating the life that we want. And our motto and our code of conduct will help us to do that. Now I'm going to revisit mine, and I don't know if I'll share it or not. One thing about our personal code of conducts and our motto, I share my motto a lot. It's be loving, love being, be you. That's just my motto. And it incorporates and means a lot of things, again, to me personally, that are important. It means be a good human being, be kind, treat others the way you want to be treated. It incorporates loving what's going on now and being grateful and having gratitude for that. And then be loving, love being, be you. And being you, I don't share this very often, but when I had my death experience, the biggest message that I got out of that experience was that it's important that we be ourselves, that we truly embrace who we are and go out in the world and share that, because as we do that, it gives other people permission to do that too. And I definitely, before my sudden cardiac arrest, was not being myself. I mean, I was being me, but only little bits and pieces of me, depending on the situation and the environment that I was in. And that was not me. That's not all of me. Hope that makes sense. So I'm going to work on my motto and my code of conduct today as well and freshen those up. If you want me to share them, maybe ask me one-on-one and I'll share it with a couple of, whoever asks, I'll share it with. But I'm just going to throw it up there. Not right now, because I'm rebranding. Remember, that's my biggest business challenge that I'm working on before the end of the year, and not making much progress. Too many other projects going on, but I committed to myself that I will, so I'm going to have it figured out. If I can help you in any way, if you have any questions, if you're struggling with this, just ask. You can always Google it. I guarantee in the past videos I've done, in past challenges, you can just Google search code of conduct, your motto, and you'll get a couple other, probably more detailed examples of how to do it. But it's kind of like everything else. You have some self-reflection. You write down your beliefs, your thoughts, your behaviors, things that are important to you, your core values, which we've done all these things, right? And so you can just go back and refer to them and say, okay, is this true for me right now? Or was it just what I was thinking when I did the exercise? Because sometimes there's a subtle difference. And then start creating a sentence or two, or I do, like I said, a couple paragraphs, or an overriding sentence and then bullet points to make it more understandable for you. It's a tool for you. This isn't for anybody else. This is for you to have this is my line in the sand. This is what I will accept. This is like the bottom of what I'll accept. But these are my expectations for myself and the standards that I'm setting for myself. All right. Have an awesome day. I'll, of course, see you tomorrow.